In this video, we're going to talk about all of the key considerations that you should be thinking about when looking for the best coffee supplier for your business, or to decide if your current coffee supplier is actually right for you. When it comes time to deciding which coffee roaster or supplier to work with, there are hundreds of different options nowadays. There are so many fantastic roasters and coffee suppliers all around the UK. When we bring a new partner on board, it's really important to us that they've properly considered all of their options and that they've come to the decision that we're the best supplier for their business. So this video is going to be a completely unbiased look at all of the different things that you might want to be thinking about. So first and most importantly is, how good is their coffee? What is the quality level of the coffee that you're going to be buying from this roaster? So the truth is that every coffee supplier is going to have more than one coffee available to you. Here at Bridge, we have over 20 different single origins and blends for our customers to buy. How high quality their coffee is really depends on what they're currently sourcing and how they're roasting it. Make sure to find out where they source their coffee from and what their relationships look like there. See if they've been working with a few different importers and how long they've been working together. Where they source their coffee from and who they're buying it from gives a massive indication of the kind of quality that you can expect. Make sure to find out if the coffee that you're going to be buying is commodity coffee or specialty grade. Coffee is ranked out of a score of 100. Anything above 80 is specialty coffee. And buying specialty instead of commodity means that you're going to be serving a higher quality coffee, and that's going to ensure that your customers have a overall higher quality and more consistent experience with your coffee. A large part of the coffee quality piece is not just the coffees that they're buying, but also how they're roasting and blending and all of the quality control that goes into the products that they serve to you. So if you can, make sure to pay a visit to their roastery and see how they run things. They should be really excited to give you a tour of their facility and show you exactly how their roasting works and how their blending works and how they ensure consistency and quality in every batch. So that leads us nicely on to the next question, which is, do they roast the coffee themselves? So there's quite a few coffee companies that will offer all of the products and services that you need, but they might actually outsource their coffee roasting to a third party. If you're able to work with a company that roasts themselves, you'll be cutting out the middleman, which means you'll be getting the best price possible for your roasted coffee, but it also means that you'll usually benefit from things like faster delivery times and more freshly roasted coffee, which is going to just increase the quality of the coffee that you serve exponentially. If you're able to visit their roastery, they can also give you a tour of the place and show you how everything works. And that just gives you a lot more of a connection to your coffee, and it gives your staff something to talk about with your customers as well. And finally on the coffee is, do your customers like their coffee? So it's all well and good if they tell you that their coffee is high quality and if you enjoy it yourself as well. But it's really important that the people that are going to be drinking your coffee are the ones that actually enjoy it too. So if you can, it's always best to try a range of their different coffees before you agree to sign up with a coffee supplier. And it's also a really good idea to sample some of their coffee in your coffee shop if you can. The best people to tell you whether your customers like your coffee or not is your customers. Other ways of tasting their coffee could be visiting their roastery, doing a tasting with their team to assess the kind of taste profiles and quality of their coffee. Or you could also visit some of their existing customers to try how their coffee is coming out in an actual coffee shop through an actual machine. Any way that you can, make sure you can try their coffee with your customers ahead of time before you agree to signing up with them. It's the best way of making sure that your customers are actually going to enjoy their coffee. The next question that you might want to think about is whether their coffee and their roastery carries any sort of certifications. So this could be anything from fair trade coffee to organic or Rainforest Alliance certified coffees. Certifications are a great way of guaranteeing a certain level of price for the farmers and a clean and direct supply chain as well. And see if there are any other initiatives that they support outside of certifications or direct trade, or maybe they have their own goals like becoming carbon neutral or carbon negative at a certain year, or if they want to become a B Corp organization as well. The big question around coffee is, how much does their coffee cost? And like I said at the start, most suppliers will have a range of different coffees that you can buy. So there's not going to be one answer to that question. Once you've tasted some coffees and you've identified the best one for your business and your customers, make sure to then think about how much it's going to cost and how that compares to some of the other coffees and suppliers that you've considered. What are their minimum order quantities? So what is the smallest amount of coffee that you can buy in a pinch? And do they charge for delivery as well, or is there a certain spend threshold that once you get over that, you then get free delivery? And when you're buying coffee, what does the price of that coffee include as well? Does it come with any sort of minimum level of training every month or visits from their account managers, or does it include any branding and sales support as well? Is their head office nearby, or is their roastery somewhere that's accessible to you? That is a great message for some companies that want to use local suppliers as often as they can. It's a great thing for you to be able to shout about, but it does come with potential downsides as well. Local companies don't necessarily mean that you're going to get the best support or even the best tasting coffee possible. But if you can expand your search to a more national level, you might actually be able to get better and faster support that way. Their roastery might not be right around the corner, but they might have a large network of engineers and barista trainers and account managers that mean that you're getting that local support from a national supplier. What's actually more important than where their head office or their roastery is based is how close by their teams are and how quickly can they get to you if you need that support, whether it's barista training or if your machine goes down. How much support are you going to be getting? That's before you open and after you open as well on a more regular basis. Every coffee supplier will obviously supply coffee and hopefully everything else that you need, but usually it's the additional services and support that you get from their teams that really sets different suppliers apart. So find out who your account manager is going to be and how often you're going to see them. How often are they going to be visiting your site and making sure that the coffee is dialed in and tasting great and that we have a positive relationship going back and forth. Make sure to find out if they're going to be helping you with the quality of your coffee, with quality audits and brand standards as well, making sure that your baristas are not just serving great quality coffee, but they're representing your business to a high standard. You really want to make sure that on top of just the coffee quality being there, the additional support is going to help you be profitable and healthy and serve great quality coffee at your sites. Potentially the best way of finding that out is to speak to their existing customers. So if you can, make sure to visit some of their existing customers and try the coffee, ask the baristas how happy they are with their supplier, and ask the key people in charge there what kind of support they're getting from their barista trainers, their engineers, and their account managers. And another way that you can do that is by looking at testimonials or case studies on their website, see who they work with and whether they had positive things to say about the supplier. One of the main things that you need to think about is what kind of barista training support you're going to get as well. Barista training is absolutely essential when it comes down to the quality and consistency of your coffee, but also things like health and safety and cleanliness and speed and optimization of your workflows too. It's pretty much standard practice to give you some level of training when your machines are first installed or when you first start serving their coffee. But see if that's going to be a regular thing as well. Maybe their barista trainers are going to come every month or every quarter. Either way, make sure that you're going to get some form of regular ongoing training. Maybe they have a bank of training resources like barista training videos or user guides or cleaning manuals. Those are all really important resources to help your teams too. Another key service on top of barista training is what kind of engineer support are you going to get as well. Make sure that they have a team of engineers that can visit your site if something goes wrong, and make sure that you have some kind of guarantee in place of how quickly they can visit your site. Some coffee suppliers will have their own team of engineers in-house, whereas others might outsource to a third-party company. A coffee company that has their own engineers in-house will be able to give you more accurate response times, and they're also going to make sure that they have the parts for your machines and that you're going to get the same level of quality service every single time. And it might be a minor point as well, but it also means that usually it's going to be the same engineer coming to your site, as they're usually done by region. So your teams are going to get to know one of their engineers and they'll develop a rapport and a relationship there. Making sure that their engineers are friendly and approachable, but also really high quality as well, and that they're professional in what they do. That will make sure that your equipment is installed properly, everything is fixed to a high quality, all of your pressure vessel inspections are done on time and to a rigorous standard. All of those things just guarantee that your machines are going to be up and running for the long term, and that just really helps with the profitability and consistency of your service. If they are going to outsource their engineers, make sure that you still get some sort of guarantee of the kind of response rates and service quality that you're going to receive. Another form of support that you could get from your supplier is with things like marketing, branding, and sales. So make sure to find out if you're going to be benefiting from things like branded cups, branded point of sale and merchandise, physical things like menu boards, posters, but also things like social media marketing, photos and videos. Make sure to find out if those things are going to be included within your partnership or whether some of those things are going to be an additional cost on top. Another question is whether they can provide retail coffee, and that is those smaller bags of coffee that you can have on your shelf to sell to your customers. That's a great way of showing to your customers that you really care about the quality of your coffee and that you're really proud of it. If you can sell it to them from home, that will be another touch point for your brand and for your coffee. On top of just the coffee, are there other products that they can supply as well? So they should be able to supply you things like your syrups, your teas, hot chocolates, things like matcha powder, smoothies, frappe ingredients, that kind of thing. See if they also can help you out with things like your coffee menu or your seasonal drinks promotions as well, with things like ingredients and posters. Ideally, you can keep all of your products under one roof. If you can buy all of your products from the same supplier, that's going to make everything really easy for your team. So make sure to assess what kind of brands they're using for all of their other products and whether you can get a good price from those too. Something that might not be necessary, but you might be thinking about now or in the future, is creating your own brand of coffee. So see if they can offer things like a white label or a private label coffee. That's when you either choose your own coffee that's completely bespoke to your business, or you buy one of their existing coffees and put your own label and your own branding on the bag. Whether they have their own bespoke packing line or whether they have their own team of graphic designers in-house that can help build your brand for you, and whether they have the kind of packing materials and facilities that they need to give you exactly what you want if it's time to build your own coffee brand. Do they offer coffee equipment as well is a really key consideration. You might have your own coffee equipment for now, and that might not be something that you're immediately thinking about. But in a few years' time, it might be time to replace that espresso machine or that coffee grinder. Working with a supplier that also works with really high quality coffee equipment is going to be really important to make sure that your coffee is coming out at a really high quality and consistent level. If they offer a range of different machines and different brands and solutions, you can be pretty confident that if they propose a new machine for you, it's going to be the right choice for your business. Whereas if they only sell one particular type of machine or one specific brand, they might not necessarily be putting something forward just because it's the best solution for you. If you already have your own machines and that's not something that you're thinking about at the moment, it's still important to ask whether their engineers are qualified to service your existing machines. Are you looking to buy your equipment and own it outright, or do you want to spread that cost over time in something like a lease contract? There are upsides and downsides of both, so make sure to have that conversation with your supplier to see which type of financing option might be best for you. If you are going to buy a machine outright, make sure that you're getting a good price for it. Or if you're going to lease your equipment, make sure to find out how long that contract is going to be for. It's usually going to be between a 3 and 5 year period typically. Make sure you find out what happens to the machine at the end of your contract, whether it becomes yours immediately or whether the coffee supplier still maintains ownership of the machine. Find out how your teams are going to be placing orders for things like coffee and syrup. Is there an online platform that they can log into? Do you have to email someone to place your order? Or is it as simple as just ringing the head office and asking what you need? Can you get through to someone on the phone really quickly, or are you going to be sitting around on hold waiting for a while to order your coffee? Those are really important things to think about for your teams. When it comes to placing orders, is there a minimum quantity of products that you need to purchase in order to guarantee things like next day shipping or free delivery? And the final big sort of umbrella question is, what kind of company is this? So what are their business goals? What is their current health and performance? And what is their general ethos and outlook on the industry and their mission as a company? If your coffee company is growing year on year and performing well, it's a good sign that they're doing something right by the businesses that they work with, because it's a positive relationship that goes back and forth. If they can help you increase your sales and your revenue, you're going to be buying more coffee from them, which is going to help them grow more and more, which will help you more and more in the service that you get, helping you grow your sales and revenue. And it's just a positive feedback loop that continues and continues. Choosing a coffee company that's already growing and its network of partners is growing year on year, and it's increasing the revenues for the businesses they work with, is going to be a great sign that it's going to be a long and healthy partnership. So make sure to have honest discussions with the supplier about where they see their business going in the next sort of 3, 5, and 10 years. And make sure that the partnership that you're going to be entering into, especially if there are long-term contracts involved, is going to be happy, healthy, and a positive relationship. If you'd like to know what it might be like to work with us here at Bridge Coffee Roasters, we can absolutely answer all of those questions for you, and our team would be glad to chat. Just head to the first link down in the description to our website and make sure to check us out. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you're looking to invest in coffee equipment for the first time, then don't miss this video here, which shows all of the espresso equipment that we recommend this year and how much all of it costs as well. I'll see you in the next video.